Hello, Internet. Welcome to the midweek. We are here today to do a little thing called an early streaming. We do a little early streaming, but that early streaming will become a video for you guys to be released correctly on time on Wednesday. So don't worry about that. But for those of you who are watching early, you're here for a little early streaming.
And congratulations for joining us at what is now 7:06 Eastern Standard Time. So I
Yes.
congratulate you on your either finding us completely randomly or through your dedication.
Yes. Now, today we've got something a little interesting, more specifically interesting for anyone who's watching currently at the moment, because this kind of looks like an old Flash game, and to an extent you are correct.
It is
But
an old flash game.
you see, the reason why I'm showing you this is because there is a game that a developer has been working on for a good while now, and this game started out as part of an event which was program slash create a game within a short period of time, which involved a horror aspect. So I think it took part during a Halloween event, and it was primarily make some kind of horror game in X amount of time, go. And this was one of those games called Endoparasitic, which, for what it is, you will see that it does look like a very low res, like everything is just looks somewhat rushed. But I'll quickly play some of this, that way people know what's going on.
Hold
This
up, back
is
the hell up. I don't even see our stream on the channel.
You should. This. Oh, I just realized something.
You didn't press it, did you?
No, stream's going, but I still have the Destiny title and all that.
Oh.
I'll keep talking while I'm setting everything up. But basically, Endoparasitic is a game where you are a character who has no legs and is missing an arm. This is unexplained. You don't know why this happened. You
Great,
literally,
you're an amputee the game.
yeah, you literally just exist, and you
Sounds
don't know
terrible.
you don't know why this happened. You don't know how it happened, but
You know,
it
one of those
happened.
random days where you just wake up without your arms or your legs.
Yeah,
How'd that happen to you? Happens to me.
it happens. It happens.
It
But
happens.
basically, in this iteration of the game, you just pop into the world. You don't know what's going on, but you start off with the text that was at the beginning, which is you're in this facility and you need to escape. You need to get out. So as you can see right now, it's saying click to drag, and that's how you drag. Basically, with your one free arm, wherever your cursor is, you click to grab onto the ground, and then you drag yourself forward, and you can drag yourself in whichever direction, your little tubby body, wherever you want. And here, you know what? I'll just finish the description of all that crap later. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Doesn't matter. The whole point of this is to be a video for later. But basically, this game is you're using your mouse, and your mouse is your primarily source of interaction with the world. And you're just dragging yourself along. Of course, I died because I was sitting around doing nothing. You do have a health bar, and you slowly drain because, you know, obviously you're missing some limbs and all that. But it's saying click to drag to move, so I'm moving. Where am I going? Grab a syringe. Scroll wheel to open your inventory. So I open my inventory, and what's that giant thing right there? That is a parasite. So you stab it with this needle, and there you go. You survive. Current objective: survive. So basically, this is the whole premise of this game, which is go from point A to point B and just survive for as long as you can. And occasionally you run into these looking things, which look like humans but are not really humans, look like messed up humans. But that's kind of the whole premise of this old game, is literally just this. There's nothing much going on. But moving on, because this, keep in mind, this was made within a short period of time. Not a whole lot of time was given for this. Some time, but not enough. But moving on, we actually have over on Steam an actual full-on game being made called Endoparasitic as the previous one. But this one is obviously been given a labor of love. Starting off with a trailer, you actually get introduced to why you're missing an arm
I
and two
believe the term
legs.
is a labor of love.
Well, obviously. But
Not given
you
labor.
but basically the developer of this game was given a whole bunch of feedback by people who obviously wanted more from their the original work. So this actual iteration of the game has been in development for I believe over a year now,
Hmm.
and actually has like a full-on story going on with different areas. You've got a laboratory, you've got ventilation and engineering sections, you've got all these different areas that you can kind of explore, and new enemies, new AI to deal with them, as well as again a story which at some point you actually come across another human being in the game, and you hear them and they're talking to you and they're like, what the hell happened? For obvious reasons, you're missing an arm and two legs. But going back to the trailer, you immediately get introduced to why you're missing an arm and two legs. And this this game, this version of it has been obviously like put into the forefront with different puzzles and options of dealing with enemies. In the original, you just get a little pistol and that's it. And as you can see here, this inventory system is the exact same inventory. Here, I'll pause it right here so you can see. This is the exact same inventory system where you use your mouse, and your mouse is the only way you can interact with the world. It's almost as if it was designed intentionally, as if you only had one hand, meaning you can't do things like multiple things at once. You can only do one thing at a time. So when it comes to loading up a bullet, you can only load one bullet, remove one bullet at a time. And it is very challenging, but a very rewarding game indeed.
Wait, is it? Is this stream showing up on our channel? I know it's irrelevant at this point, but
it
it's like,
it
is it showing up?
it's showing up on my end. It's saying we're live.
Huh, that's weird. I'm not seeing it on our channel on my personal thing.
Here,
I'm
reload,
just. I have been
reload your thing just in case.
Yeah, I'm reloading here. I'll go to home again. Oh wait, no, there it is.
Okay, there you go.
The one day I try to look at our stream.
But basically, this is the whole premise of the game. You've got a small inventory system, you've got some syringes here, and once again, that little parasite thing. Which this is actually the creator's way of demonstrating a health bar, which the closer it is to your brain, the closer you are to death. So
Uh-huh.
it's an interesting concept, but needless to say, this is a passion project that is part of our time, that has been part of the mainstream, that is amazing to actually see, because this started out as literally just throwaway event, make something for people to play and enjoy, maybe win a prize type of thing, to okay, I'm going to put a whole bunch of work into this and hopefully people will enjoy it. And obviously by the 276 positive reviews, well, very positive reviews, I'd be willing to bet people are enjoying this game. And it has been out for, I believe, 2 days now. So there's that. It's actually on sale right now for in Canadian dollars, 8.61 instead of the 11.49. So a little bit of a sale right now for anyone who is potentially wanting to get it. But like I said, it's got like a whole story, a whole heap of things that you can do. It's all super challenging as you can only do one thing at a time. You got one hand, so you can only load a gun once. You have to go and grab the gun from your back. You got to aim it at the enemy. Then you got to quickly go and get into your inventory and take out that bullet that you just fired. That way you don't think that you're safe to fire a weapon again, but you can't because it's empty. It's it's a very resource management game, and there's a lot going on. Like all the stuff that you're seeing in this trailer right now was not in the original. So there's a lot more to this game. There's like even a proper stealth section that was added into the game while I was watching the development, and that was actually interesting to watch be implemented because of the whole mechanics on how you move throughout the world, how you move your character throughout the world, and how your character kind of randomly coughs every once in a while and stuff like that. So it's it's very intense for a lack of proper words and stuff like that. For anyone who actually enjoys both resource and horror aspect, this is one of those things that you might honestly enjoy, because this is one of those passion projects that is nice to see kick off. So there's that. Anyone
Yeah.
who's interested, just want something I wanted to talk about, because when it comes to games, this is honestly how games are developed. It takes one person to come up with an idea, and then people to get behind that idea and say, yeah, no, I like this. I really like this. I want more of it. So this is good to see. This is actually honestly good, like awesome to watch. So there's that for anyone who is interested in development of games and stuff. Anyways, we've got some Silent Hill news.
I try to maintain sound. He says it's very interesting because it's not my field, so I won't say anything. It's
I'll say it for what it is. There's not much I can say. I know I repeated my words like throughout the whole thing, but it's honestly, it's a small little game, and it doesn't look like there's much going on. But even in the original, it doesn't look like there's much going on. But when you do play it, honestly, the way you're supposed to, which is slowly work your way around, maintain your health, make sure you don't die, make sure you watch your resources, your ammo. As you play it, like for what it is, and not just a quick rush fest from point A to point B, it's got it like a nice atmosphere for what it is in the original. And in this one, there's like an actual environment. There's textures to everything, and there's puzzles, which means you can't just rush from point A to point B anymore. You actually have to solve something in order to get to point B. So it's it's kind of one of those things that's a little rewarding now. But again, there's some Silent Hill news from Nick, who I'll pass the torch over to him now.
Thank you, my dear co-host. A little bit of words of bit. We probably should have started with this, but it is what it is. I'll say it again next time we do a video as well. Anyway, There is debate amongst the two of us of potentially changing the channel name.
Yes.
Now, this has come after a bit of debate because I know a few people personally that I try to advertise this channel to, and they all kind of say the same thing. That's a very strange name. I've even had one person compare it to a school project, which, after some debate, I kind of agree.
Understandable.
There is debate about changing the name. The final name is a work in progress. We have one or two trial names in the works. Pardon as I take a drink.
Yep.
I know it's unprofessional. Drink after the stream, but whatever.
Unprofessionality.
But hey, this is the benefits of live performances, right?
Yes.
Or disadvantages, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever this is. Real quick, might as well, if we're going into some of the background stuff.
Housekeeping
and everything. There's a reason why we're doing this early. You see, I have a thing called a job, and I'm pretty sure people are well aware of this.
It's called a job. I have a life, I'm sorry.
Yes. But, basically what ended up happening is right now I am scheduled like 40 hours this week. And one of my shifts starts at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, which means I have a very, very short period of time in order to make sure the stream is up and done. And, you know, everything isn't, buggy mess that it likely will be.
That's his job as the editor.
Needless to say, there would be an extremely short period of time to stream and make sure the stream goes up. So I asked Nick if we could either do it early or like really early, and we're doing it really early right now. So here you all are to watch our botched stream now.
As he plays Team Fortress the sniper and potentially does good. But regardless, I mean, it's as Justin says. Honestly, he has work. I have,
School.
college.
Yeah.
So it's a pain.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I really didn't want to force him into the position of like, do it early, because then I would have to wake up early, and I have quite a, well, let me just check my
Track record
calendar.
of not waking up early.
We don't need to tell them that. We don't.
Well, I think they need to know. There's a reason we don't do things early.
Okay, blame it on me. Okay,
Hey, it's not
fine.
all on your fault. It's partly my fault. I should have told work to fuck off or something by now. But still, it's it is what it is.
But
It's literally just one of those things.
yeah, it's one of those things where we're just like, you know what? Let's get this out of the way now. Plus, it gives us time to unwind. I just did a midterm today, so I need something to, give me some happiness, and this gives me happiness. You, the audience, give me happiness. So feel proud of yourselves.
Give me entertainment. Entertain me.
Entertain me. Yeah, that is an interesting parallel. The entertainer is entertained by his audience. I don't know if I'm doing this right or terribly. But anyways, back.
Sorry,
back to
I
the
just got a stupid headshot.
So I've seen.
Like, I am.
But yeah, try pulling this off in Destiny. Snipers do not work in Destiny.
No.
TLDR.
No,
I mean,
they
they
can, but it's
but
not
the
as
builds for
easy
them
as
are like
this.
snapshot. You cannot. There really is no, like, you can camp in D2, but it's not a real
not this simple.
thing. Yeah, no, it's very much like basically flick shotting. That's basically a twitch shotting. That's what I was gonna say.
Again.
That's basically D2 sniping. Basically just twitch shotting with a sniper rifle, which
Yeah, who can go and flick over to the person's head faster?
oh, pretty much. That's why freaking like quickscope is such a beloved mod, and like basically anything with that on it as far as snipers are concerned is a god roll. So yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, anyways, back to the Silent Hill news. So yeah, recently Konami, that corpse of a company after Kojima left. I'm not salty at all. No, you're salty. But
I'm not salty, you're salty.
but anyways, so Konami was like, "Hey, we're gonna make a game, or correction, we're gonna remaster a game, not make a game." And they said, "Hey, why don't we remake Silent Hill 2?" Yeah, let's do that. And this is interesting news because, well, Silent Hill is a very beloved franchise, so that's automatically going to generate hype.
Hmm.
The trailer, again, it's Silent Hill 2, right? It's Silent Hill 2 with modern graphics. Which, if you remember Silent Hill, it is a very moody game,
I like how that guy rushed for me. He knew I was gonna run away.
I say moody game, and he plays this of all things.
I mean, hey, this can be a moody game. It's just when you're playing Class Wars.
Yeah, when you're losing, it's a moody game.
Well, technically we're not losing. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is bum rushing the enemy nonstop because it's Class Wars. You can't really do much against the enemy when it's literally Class Wars.
Everyone is a scout war.
Everyone's a sniper.
Is that effective? Honestly, is that effective?
What, being sniper or being the same class?
Like everyone being a sniper. Yeah.
Being a sniper, no. Because literally all it takes is like one or two heavies or something, and your team's dead.
One
you're
heavy and the entire team's dead.
But mass stacking as other classes like soldier, demo, or heavy, like the power classes.
Oh god, yeah, no, I can imagine the whole team.
Mass scouting, stacking scout on the other hand, is a 50-50. It only really works on two game modes. One, certain point-based maps where you got to capture points, and then capture the flag, obviously, because scout's the fastest. So, but for the most part, mass stacking doesn't really work because all it takes is literally the other team to be like, all right, you're doing this, we're just going to do this now, and completely lock down the area because you can't do anything when we lock down the area.
Here's a hard counter.
Yep. And again,
But
I get another fucking stupid headshot. Team
but
Fortress 2,
anyways,
everybody.
back to Silent Hill. Like I said, Silent Hill 2, it's being remastered. As we know, since Hideo Kojima has left the company, he is not involved in this one, though. Hold on, he did make the Silent Hill games, right? Hold on, let me just rectify that. I don't want to be misthink. I think he worked on this. It's a very beloved franchise, so I don't want to be misquoting here.
Mm-hmm. I want to make sure it's done right.
Mm-hmm. Nope, never mind. He did not create it. I thought he worked on them. Wow, I must really be misremembering my history. But anyways, so Konami is, like I said, is designed to remake Silent Hill 2, which is interesting considering Konami really doesn't do much these days. Like after the whole PT debacle, where they were like, hey, we're not gonna make PT after the whole breakup with Kojima, because I believe he was working on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was working on that. They were like, yeah, we're not gonna do much after that point, and Konami kind of went dark as a company. I don't really remember off the top of my head any other things they've done, like seriousness, in a while after that. So this is kind of their biggest, I want to say, return to the industry after all these years of silence. And they kind of had a lot of bad press for a while after that as well. So I'm not sure what to say, honestly.
It's a weird state where it's like, all right, they were kind of doing good, and now they're not, and now you're like, this might be good, this might not.
That's the weird part. They were a decent company. Like, there was no real big controversies, at least as my knowledge, around them for a long time. And then the whole breakup with Kojima happened and the fallout of that, and they canceled PT, which was a highly expected game. For those who don't know, PT was back in the PS3 or 4 days.
Oh.
I think it was 3. Hold on. I think it was PS3 days we're looking at here. Hold on, I'm just trying to search up my... Because it's been a while, right? Here we go, PT. Yeah, it was mostly, it was PS4 days. And this was a playable demo, right? And it was for the next big Silent Hill game, PT. It was designed by Kojima and everything. And despite being a pretty small demo, pretty contained, it was very popular. You might remember people streaming it back in the day. It was like 2014. Still kind of see people streaming it. But after the whole thing with Konami leaving the Kojima leaving the company, PT was canned. I believe it was also taken off the App Store, so you can't even download it anymore. So, if you remember how the PlayStation system works, since it was taken off the App Store, if you, deleted PT from your hard drive, guess what? It gone. So I remember there was like, I think there was even a market for like PS4s with PT still on it.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
And that was the thing for a while, and that garnered Konami a lot of bad press.
Obviously.
And they didn't really help themselves when they took Metal Gear, which again, Kojima is famous for making, and they were like, hey, we're going to make Metal Gear Survive. Yep. Which was basically just a glorified asset flip of the last Metal Gear.
The old Metal Gear from like a moment ago.
I want to say it's old. What was the last Metal Gear called? I can't even remember off the top of my head now. I can't remember anything right now. No, it was basically an asset flip of Phantom Pain, as well as not Snake Eater, but Ground Zero.
Yep.
And it basically takes place in like this alternate dimension after Ground Zero happened, and there's base defense stuff, and it was monetized to hell and back. And it was just a a pretty obvious attempt by Konami to cash in on the Metal Gear brand, right? And it just kind of basically ruined the brand and the game series as a whole. So yeah, that garnered them even worse press, and after that, they kind of went radio silent for a very long time. At least I didn't hear anything out of them.
So, and now all of a sudden they're doing something.
Now all of a sudden they're doing something. They're returning to the industry. They're remastering Silent Hill 2. Like I said, Silent Hill is a very moody game, so I think the idea of them including more modern graphics might be a good idea. Full disclosure, I never played the OG Silent Hill games before my time.
So, no real idea on that one.
Don't get me wrong, I know the Silent Hill series, and I know Silent Hill 2 and 1 and stuff like that, but I've never played the games myself. Because again, that was before my time. That was like 2001. I was still 1 year old at the time. I was not playing horror games back then.
There was a little bit of a problem.
But I am well aware of Silent Hill as a franchise and its reputation and everything around it, so... I mean, who isn't in the game industry not aware of Silent Hill, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the more modern graphics will help it. It is a very atmospheric game, so I think it will very much benefit from that kind of thing. I'm just going to say this, I'm going to love seeing Pyramid Head in full glorious 4K. That'll be something.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. But yeah, no, link to the trailers in the description if you want to look at it yourself. It looks really interesting. There was a lot of, I want to say, uses for Silent Hill that had technical, like, since the game came out in 2001, right? There was a lot of technical constraints
Limitations
in the game
and everything.
yeah. When it came to how big you could make it and map size and stuff like that. Obviously, it was a lot smaller when it came to things like level design and stuff like that, because, it was 2001. So, will this be a remake or remaster? I've been saying remake the whole time, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure.
Hard to tell. So, a lot of the time, a remake tends to be a change-up, and then there's the occasional actual remake where it's just texture changes and then a few bug fixes, so it's hard to tell.
I mean, if you look at the actual, the teaser trailer, it looks very much like a, well, obviously they've updated the textures because it's 2001. Textures otherwise.
Well, obviously.
But the world obviously looks... Yeah, no, add one more pixel. That's what we'll call an upgrade.
Yep.
But yeah, the maps look a lot bigger. The camera angle isn't... I believe the camera angle in the original game was actually static. Like, you couldn't move it. And that was actually a big thing for horror games back then. I believe Resident Evil also had one of the originals. Or the originals had the same shtick where you'd go into like a hallway and the camera angle would be static and you couldn't move it. I believe in Silent Hill it was also the same thing. But now it looks like
I know what you're referring to when it comes to that.
Yeah. It looks like obviously they detached the camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so maybe
that's the problem when it came to the games in the past that went and put a camera kind of like in the corner of the room or something as the character walked around. The camera followed the character. Like, that's the problem with the games that did that, because all it took was an object to be placed somewhere, and you couldn't see the character anymore, or the camera to bug out and it to switch to a different camera at the worst position, and all of a sudden now you can't see it. Like, it literally just took one of those two things.
Well, I mean, they were static, so if you went into a room, there was always that one camera in, like, the hallway or something like that. Yeah. Or in, like, the corner of the room, so...
Yeah, and you couldn't
obviously
see what you were doing.
Some would say that was a good thing. Some would say that's a bad thing. Me, like I said, it was before my time, so I don't really have an opinion on it.
Mhm.
I would think it added to the ambiance of the game, but like I said before my time.
I to me feel like it would just make everything more difficult than it really needed to be.
Maybe. But yeah, so it looks like a remake following the same kind of formula, right? Like the story is probably going to be the same, but I imagine, for example, the levels might be bigger, and obviously the camera's detached, stuff like that. The world looks a lot more flushed out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if of all the games that would benefit from like a remake or a upgrade in textures, I should say, like a modern like coat of paint, I think the Silent Hill games would very much be in that part because, like I said, they're very atmospheric games, right? There are some games that whether you upgrade the textures or not isn't going to really impact the gameplay. Like, don't get me wrong, it's going to be eye candy, but let's be honest. Takes like I don't know. Hell, take the game Justin's playing right now, freaking Team Fortress.
Yeah.
If you, yeah, it's called freaking Team Fortress now, but add the F on the end, it's TF2 or FT.
Fuck you.
And there goes our sponsorship money.
There is no sponsorship money.
I can hope, damn it.
I can hope. I can dream. I have a dream.
Coca-Cola Dream, sponsor us.
Dream. I have a dream of a dream.
I have a dream of a dream, dreamception.
Coca-Cola.
But honestly, but if you were to take TF2, right, and you were to give it a 4K coat of paint, do you really think that would increase the fun factor of TF2? Me, I'm gonna wager no. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna look better or worse depending on who you ask, because it's a stylized game, right? So. But if you were to update the graphics, would that really do anything for the overall game?
Would that make it better or worse?
Yeah, that kind of thing. There are some games, like I said, that would very much benefit from the idea of modern. There are some games that just don't benefit from updated graphics, or they just don't really affect them.
Yeah.
Like Mass Effect is a key example there. That's a good example. Excuse me, actually. When they took the Mass Effect trilogy, right? Sure, they upgraded the graphics of the last one, and I believe the second game as well, to match kind of the graphic capacity of 3, maybe a bit more so, because like the background shots were rendered, I believe, in like very 4K, and the cinematics were much, very touched up. But the actual gameplay itself, like the actual missions and the levels, they still look like they came right out of like 2010, 2011. Like they still look like a product of their time. And that's okay because that preserves the quality of the game, because the graphics of the game were kind of, the dated graphics were kind of what gave it its charm. And even if they did update the graphics in the game itself, outside of the cutscenes and certain background shots, it wouldn't really impact how good Mass Effect is, because it's a story-based game and its narrative is the big thing. Atmosphere is big, sure, but it wasn't really big on the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, not in that way. It was more the music of the game that gave it its atmosphere. Whereas when you look at Silent Hill, that game's atmosphere, when it comes to what you're seeing, is very much what gave the game the kind of fear element to it. In many ways, Resident Evil also has that same kind of shtick, right? Where it's just as much of a visual thing as it is an audio thing. So the idea of making much better graphics in those types of games very much is to its benefit. Now, am I going to play the game? Probably not. I genuinely don't play horror games all that often. So, I didn't play it back then, and I probably won't play it now, full disclosure. Hell, I still ain't playing Alien Isolation. To hell with that.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
I do not need
Out
that
of this
paranoia.
house! Out of this house!
Honestly, me walking around with like a cross or going around the spaceship. Out of this house! Out of the house!
Aliens be gone from this house!
Honestly. That's why I prefer a Predator game over the Alien games, because, that's more of an action-based game.
Yeah, they're a little more tame over it all. There's not as like horror-y.
The Predator games are more action focused, right? Because remember, the original Predator was a action movie. Yeah, there was horror elements too, but it was primarily an action movie as well. Whereas when you look at the original Alien, which I have seen as well, seen the entire trilogy actually, they are horror. Well, the first one was anyway. The second one was an attempt at action, which I don't think really worked. Like, they tried to go action like the Predator movies, didn't really work. The movies were decent, but I don't know if they were like... The first one was purely like sci-fi horror, and that was the classic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they try to go for when they make alien-based games. Or at least good alien-based games. There's a lot of alien-based games that are action that I don't know if you would classify as good or not. But, so yeah, there you go. Again, it's a bit more scattered, a bit more relaxed today. Not really big news. The news is a bit drier this week. Outside of Silent Hill, there's nothing really blowing up the news. There is one thing that I could think of, but I really haven't done much research into the topic, so maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so consider this your more relaxed video. Wait, is it next week Halloween?
Yes.
Oh.
Halloween. Spooky
We've already
month.
done our Halloween episode, but I just want to...
Yes, it's spooky month.
The month where you're encouraged to scare children.
Yes.
Say that out loud. What does that say about me?
Danger.
But yeah. So anyways, that's your more relaxed video. That's kind of your Silent Hill news. Like I said, not much on the topic outside of the teaser trailer, which just came out.
Yeah.
I do not believe it came out with a PlayStation State of Play, but I'll have to check, because I think there was a State of Play that might have happened, actually. And that might have dropped more God of War news. Fun fact, we'll probably do a God of War review when that happens, or at least I will, because Justin doesn't have a PlayStation, so
Yes.
he can't play God of War. I believe... Wait, didn't they put God of War on PC? A new one? Hold on, let me just check that one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I can't really check right now, so.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just check that right now, because I'm curious now. Log into my Steam account as we speak. Yeah, no, they do have the new God of War on PlayStation, or that was on PlayStation on PC. So he could play it, he just doesn't. Reviews are overwhelmingly positive, unsurprising. It was a very good game.
Yes.
I have finished it and replayed it. And it's on sale! 20% off. Hint, hint.
Interesting.
All things aside, though, I love how the new Gotham Knights, which I actually am also playing at the moment, is mixed reviews. I can see that. It's a good game, but I can see some people certainly being conflicted about it.
Holy crap. The server is lagging now. Everyone's playing as the engineer, both teams, so there's a bunch of entities all over the map. The game
Ladies and gentlemen, gated dated.
Literally, the game doesn't know what to do with itself anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, dated game design.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last I checked, I don't think most servers are meant to handle a full-on 12v. Well, not 12v12. This is what is it? 13 player, 34, 32 player limit. Either way, I don't think the games are normally meant to handle like an exorbitant amount of players than normal.
Maybe, maybe not.
That, as well as, you know, plasma balls every 5 seconds and all that. Like, I don't think the game is normally meant to handle this much.
But anyways, we'll leave you with that. Like we said, housekeeping. We'll probably change up the name in the future. Final name is to be decided. TBD. But there are some names that we have potentially settled on. But we'll let you know when we have a final name. So, yeah, there's your relaxed episode. Have a good week, guys, and enjoy the madness on your screen right now as you just see, like, 1,000 turrets.
Sentries going and shooting each other while engineers slowly push in and push out. Suffering commencing. Yes.
I just look at the top bar and I just see a ton of engineer faces. Just
Yeah. Engineer gaming. Engineer game. This is how it works. Engineer gaming.
tons of dispensers.
Yes. Engineer gaming.
An entire fortress of turrets.
Yes. And the inside only has minis. I mean, I'm gonna try one last. Oh, I got frozen. Alright, well, it looks like we're done with the stream. But hopefully you all enjoyed.
Yep, hopefully you all enjoyed.